Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Call Holoyim Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakal Kwadash for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf that's keeping the faith in the work. Shall keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. So, this is the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. If you haven't been hearing in the news, Europe has been facing an energy crisis because of the Russia-Ukraine thing and the sanctions that's been placed on Russia. And they complaining about being more so in the dark than the light because they have to ration out the energy that's used. But they ain't seen darkness yet. When that real darkness come, the day of the Lord, they gonna real life know what darkness is then. They gonna tremble at that point. For real, for real. Right now they kind of shaky about a recession, and this is the UK. We ain't even talk about the daughter of Babylon right now. We talking about Europe, right? And so that should let you know something. That should let you know this is a worldwide thing, like we've been saying for the longest. This ain't just happening here. This is all over the globe, and that's how we know this the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Working to work on our behalf. Right? Scripture says the more of us that wake up, the more Yahweh will maintain our cause, meaning fight for us. Right? So, with that being said, I'm going to let the video play and I'll be back.
After debatable predictions, let's discuss some hard facts. Like the energy crisis in Europe. It's getting worse by the day. Electricity bills are soaring, gas reserves are depleting, and winter is coming. As the mercury dips, gas and oil consumption is going to pick up. But Europe does not have enough supplies. So what is it doing to avert this crisis from snowballing? Cost cutting. Almost every European nation has set new power-saving targets. New limits on energy consumption. Take the case of Greece. It has told the public sector to turn off lights or face consequences. What sort of consequences? The withdrawal of government funding to energy firms. Listen to this.
Reduce the air conditioning. Maintain the heaters. Remember to turn off the lights so we are not wasting energy. The lights on government buildings do not still be on at midnight. We are asking basic things.
In France, the government is taking similar steps every day. As the evening descends, the lights are dimmed, the monuments go dark, the fountains stop running. French cities bear a desolate spectacle. The scale of the crisis can be gauged through this story. The Eiffel Tower switching off its twinkling lights. The most visited monument in the world could go dark an hour earlier than usual. French citizens say their prospects look gloomy.
It's a bit gloomy. It's sad, especially buildings like the Palais des Beaux Arts behind me are usually magnificently lit up, even with little light.
So we know there is a crisis. The question is, how bad could this get, and is there a way out? Let's try to find some answers. To start with, American officials are a bit alarmed at the crisis. They don't see any obvious solutions in sight. Reports claim that White House staff is worried that Putin plans to force a bleak winter on Europe. They believe that he might cut off all supplies anytime, the impact of which would be severe. You see, if Putin follows through this threat, Europe will certainly enter recession. That's exactly what the Americans fear. Reports in American media have gone as far as to say that Europe could be heading back to the Middle Ages, to using...
So, Europe is going back to the Middle Ages, and all this Earth going back to the Middle Ages. Because if you didn't know, so-called blacks ruled during the Middle Ages, with the Dark Ages. Right, that was our time for ruling. Even though they switched it up throughout history and made it as though we was always in the jungles and that whole rundown. But at the end of the day, yes, the Most High is turning that thing back to how it's supposed to be. Second Ezra 6 and 9 says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows." And that's what we're witnessing. That's what the world is witnessing. They don't know it. But those of us that are operating in the spirit of truth, spirit of righteousness to the best of our ability, the Most High dealing with us in our spirits, we know because the Most High is letting us know. He's revealing these things to us. Right?
Firewood for heating, to waiting weeks for supplies, and traveling miles for fuel. And what's worse, this will not be a short-term crisis. Analysts are expecting a deeper, prolonged crisis and an even more persistently elevated inflation. The figures tell you the story. According to a recent survey, economies in the Eurozone, which is a monetary union of 19 EU nations, will witness a 1.7% contraction in real GDP. 1.7%. And some European nations will be worse off than the others. Let me show you some more numbers. According to the same survey, the GDP growth rate in Germany will be down by minus 2.3%. In France, it will be down by minus 2.1%, and in Spain, minus 1.6%. Interestingly, America stands to gain from Europe's suffering. Let me explain this. You see, as European economies worsen and cut their reliance on Russia, they will be moving more towards the US. They will be attracted to American firms. They will look forward to American investments. As it is, America already produces enough of its own natural gas, so it will not be affected by Russia restricting its flow to Europe. Even if it were to increase supplies to the continent, in fact, America already is making up for the loss of Russian gas. Reports say roughly 70% of American gas exports are going to Europe. Since March, US firms have imported over 30 billion cubic meters to Europe. What does this tell you? That the war in Ukraine is proving to be a blessing for American businesses. As European cities go dark, as European citizens reduce power consumption, they will find themselves more and more reliant on American alternatives. We are now.
Right. Little do they know, the daughter of Babylon is in the line of fire as well. Right? So, once again, these devils really think they see in darkness and they worried about a little loss of light. Nah, they gonna real deal be worried when the day of the Lord comes. Let me read this again, the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Now Joel 2 goes into speaking about them ICBM missiles tearing the daughter of Babylon apart. Right? So, the image later said the business is booming in the daughter of Babylon because of the sanctions, but it's going to backfire, right? Because thus says the Lord. And we seeing it. We seeing it with the people. We seeing it with the price hikes of everything, right? The same recession they talking about in Europe, they talking about over here, right? Big business is seeing a payment for it, but it ain't trickling down to the people. Scripture says that the people are going to be the ones that turn up in this place, right? Let me see. Let me go to the book of Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 1. And verse 12. Because of all of these things that's going on, the Most High's people need to have their mind right. But it ain't written that all of the Most High's people would take notice to the trumpets, would hear the alarms. So the same news that she just said about, the daughter of Babylon, the business being okay. The average person to hear that and be like, well, see, it sounds like, we good, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we were bad for a minute, but not now, bro. No. This place down too. All you gotta do is just go to the store and see how much you paying for things that last year cost way less, right? But the majority of the Most High's people are at ease, and you're gonna have to pay for that. Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 12 says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, Yahweh will not do good, neither will he do evil. Right? And what we're here to tell you is the day of the Lord is near. Right? Let me go to same book, same chapter, but verse 14 says, the great day of Yahweh is near, it is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. The day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, right? These people ain't seen dark yet. These people ain't seen lights out yet. They gonna really see it when Yahweh Shai get ill on this place all the way, right? It says, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Right? So when them people really see what time Yahweh Shai is on, they gonna really know darkness. But for all of us that are trying our best, man, really like trying our best to maintain faith and works, run our race and our pace, keeping things steady the best we can. The Most High said this. This is the book of Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, seek ye Yahweh, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be, ye shall be hid in the day of Yahweh's anger. Right? So, hey, we could possibly be hid in that day, man. And Most High willing, Yahweh Shemel Shah, if you're hearing this word and you can understand it, you can see it, and you can hear it, then that's speaking about you, and Most High willing is speaking about me too, right? So I ended with that. Yahweh Shema Shai Ratazah, these precepts in this video were edifying. Call Halloyim Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakak Wadash. Shalom Yashalom.